All right, guys, what is good? We're on week 3 now. I got some chest supported machine rows here. Still not super keen on this form, but it's a little bit better than last time. As you can see, different angle. You can see the insane stretch you get at that top there. Anyway, though, I got all my data here in front of me in terms of week 3. This is about when we started to notice, like on my high days, on the weekends, the uptick in terms of my body weight. Because at the time, like up until week 9, I was still eating out every weekend. Obviously, I was guesstimating or overestimating just for the sake of creating that somewhat of a buffer, but probably wasn't. Probably wasn't being very accurate either. But that's why we were seeing some pretty crazy upticks in body weight the Monday and Tuesday, even up until Wednesdays the following week. However, still lost about 0.66 pounds. So I started my running average on week 3 at 166.79 and ended 166.13. And we didn't change anything. I also have like a better accurate representation of what those calories looked like. 5 days out of the week, they were at 2,300. And then the weekends, we were looking at around like 2,500. The reason why we didn't change anything is because outside of just the weight moving on the scale, like looking at my prep pictures, like there was somewhat of a difference in terms of leanness. So that is just another factor that you have to consider when it comes to, oh shoot, I didn't really see like the weight that I wanted to see drop that week. But you know what? I do look leaner. I do look different in the mirror. And, there's really no point in changing anything. Ultimately, like you don't want to change things if you don't need to. Like granted, if we started seeing like an uptick in weight or, more of like a stall, like kind of what we have been seeing, but no sort of change in the physique week to week, then a change needs to occur. Those are like the main things we were looking for at this point in time with my coach. And this is me doing the my reps on this thing. I also really love this lat pull down machine. I kept this in up until this point that I'm currently at right now. But that's me hitting that RP of 11. And here we go here with my top set on the overhead press. Week 3, let's see, what was that? So that was 145 of RP of 8. And then from there, we dropped it down to 130. And basically, kept doing each set with 1 minute rest in between sets to like an unknown number, but I was trying to hit an RPE of 8. And if you're new, that just means, 2 reps left in the tank. And this is me executing those. This has been the progression and, just the rep schema that I've been using since the beginning of this prep. And I really enjoy this, honestly. It's really fun because like outside of, pushing more weight over time and really focusing on increasing strength, there's sort of a hierarchy you need to consider when it comes to progression, and that is perceived effort. Then we look at the load, and then like the reps. So as long as the effort's there, and we're also beating the reps, then we can increase the load. So that's kind of how we were going about it. And I believe this is my last set here. So like with these 1 minute intervals between sets with 130, I did my first one after the top single of 145 for 7. And then the last 2 were 4 reps, RP of 8. And these, this overhead tricep extension. So this is how I like to do these. Basically, I stick that metal pole you see behind me right between my butt cheeks. I'm not even lying. That stabilizes me pretty well. And also make sure my foot placement is about shoulder width, and just lean over and let my forearms touch my biceps and extend my arms out. I really like this. I have done this with bars. This is probably like my first go around with the rope handle, the thing that people like to chew on at the gym. which is such a funny meme. But yeah, I believe this is also, yeah, this is also my reps. You're gonna see this whole thing. So for this particular day, only doing one activation set, and then we're doing one cluster set after. So I think with 42.5 pounds, I got up to 19 reps here. We got 5 breaths. Yeah, hitting it back again. I believe I got 8.2 reps on this RP of 11 on this final set. Let's see. Yeah, that's what that looks like. But yeah, again, if you're new, all of like the accessory work is my reps. If you reference the week 1 video, I have like little pictures that kind of showcase what that looks like. But this is just showing you, like, this is what this shit looks like. Like, we're really pushing this. And once you get to this like ladder, and like, look, I'm squeezing the freaking nuts together just so I can squeeze out that 0.2. Yeah, it's killer. Also, never got to cover this with you guys, but this has been my main strength mover on my leg days. And I'll show you a full video, but yeah, Smith machine squats, keeping them in. I love this exercise. I did have to take it out at some point, but yeah, we got 280 for an RP of 7.5. So that means basically 2 reps left in the tank for sure, possibly a third. Then we dropped it down to 250 pounds. Yeah, for another same rep schema and rest as the overhead press I talked about before. So 3 following sets with 1 minute rest in between, trying to hit an RP of 8. I believe on this first one I got 7. And then, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so hitting RP of 8, so 2 reps left in the tank, and then racking that. I kind of think about that one. That's all it is, really. You're just building that body awareness. And sometimes it might be different, you know, depending on, you know, like what that perceived effort feels like, depending on like, did you have any food prior, or, you know, or you just wake up and just hit it fasted, or maybe you have like a long day at work and now you finally hit your training session. That's what's kind of the beauty of the RPE or the RIR or just any sort of perceived exertion scale. That's why I like to include it within my training, just because it's a bit adaptable. So, you know, you're utilizing the effort that you can within that moment given the circumstances, just because with everything, context is king. But yeah, so that is the final exercise in this video. Like I said, every 2 day, guys. Like, subscribe, share, whatever. And if there's something else that you want me to talk about when it comes to my prep, because like I said, pumping these out every 2 days, just comment below. Love to, you know, include more information for you guys if you're curious. The next video is going to be a full day of eating video with a little bit of some training. We'll see you in 2 days.